Hey everybody, it's the Millennial Prepster here, and thought I'd make this video. I've been seeing a lot of different YouTube influencers out there, and I've been listening to it kind of this morning. This morning I've been doing some errands. I got some fresh pasture-raised fertilized eggs that I get from my local source that we're going to start incubating today. I got some elk meat from a really good friend of mine from their last hunt, so I'm truly blessed there. And hopefully we'll have some chicks that are in the incubator right now start hatching out today. It's day 20, so they've been in lockdown since day 18. So between day 20 and day 21, I usually have chicks hatch. But all that aside, a lot of influencers have been saying very peculiar things that I'm actually starting to see myself, believe it or not. And I thought we'd talk about that. And a lot of these YouTube influencers are saying, and just to name a few, you have the Magic Prepper, Alaska Prepper, Canadian Prepper, a lot of the people that urban prepping, city prepping, whatever it's called, all the people that believe in, basically stockpiling a lot of stuff for bad times, they're starting to say that there's something changing in the air. This whole, mantra of there's something bad happening, it's looming, and I can feel it. And like I said, it's just a normal everyday for me. But I have noticed that my livestock animals that I sell, they're going fast, guys. Like, I cannot keep this stuff fast enough. I know I've said it in other videos, but I have people that are literally wanting to give me deposits for upcoming chickens, rabbits, quail, turkey, ducks, you name it. Even the sheep I just got, people are wanting to know when I'm going to be breeding. It's just been crazy. Now, while I maintain the same viewpoint that I've always held, I don't believe that there's any food shortages coming. Civil war is not on our doorstep. Like, all these hyper-inflated concerns, I don't buy into. But there's no doubt that people are feeling scared and people are nervous and people want answers. And right now, I feel like a lot of these people that are just opening their eyes to how fragile the system is, they are so flustered and they want answers, but they don't know what the right answer is. One thing may seem like the right answer now, and then they hear another news article, and all of a sudden what they were thinking is not the right answer anymore. And so they're in such a flustered state that it makes them even more vulnerable to everything that's going on in everyday life. And so I think now, more than ever, is a great time for people like myself who aren't preppers, but have made a whole lifestyle in preparedness to provide some common sense approach to preparedness. And so I think that comes in the form, and at least for me, it comes into a form called sustainability, right? And I think that is going to give you guys the most peace of mind, but also give you back some control. And I feel like that's super important. So in this video, I really want to talk about, especially for those of you that are never going to live rural, I get that. I want to give you guys common sense approaches. And that's going to start under the caveat of pets. I think preppers should have more pets. And this is why. Small scale sustainability is not only going to give you the answers you're looking for, it's going to give you back the most control. And a lot of people don't realize that, but it's about changing your mindset. It's about working through things. It's about having that willpower and desire to work through things. And it takes a very special person to do that. It's the same reason that we see that training in the military is so difficult for people that are special forces, special operators, special programs. In law enforcement, you have special programs, special units. That is why, because they are wanting people that can work through things. It takes a very special person to be in an austere environment and work through things and not stop and not give up. So it's the process. It's not just buying and hoarding things. It's the process of working through something that's going to be your biggest force multiplier. And local small-scale sustainability will get you there. It's a little cold out here. The temperature's been dropping, and as you can see, we got a lot of smoke. Are we affected by the fires? No, we're covered on pretty much 3 sides with a river, so I'm not worried. But nonetheless, we still got the smoke and everything that comes through, which obviously drops the temperature a little bit. But what I got here, I went to the store, And there's my coffee. Picked up some lumber, some chicken wire, and a little roof there, because what we're going to be doing is building some tractors for pets. And this is why. Tractors are a great way to produce free, sustainable food. So this is one that I've built that can be moved utilizing my riding mower, or you can pull it. Here I just, connect it to a riding mower and I move it from spot to spot. Or you can buy the so-called state-of-the-art one like this one. This has my buck DJ in it. As you can tell, he's doing what good rabbits are supposed to, and he's mowing the yard. Same thing with this. I just take it and I just move it every couple days. And so these systems are a way for you to produce free food for your family at your own convenience. This is working through a problem. Don't get me wrong. You can always go and buy hundreds of pounds of rice, beans, whatever shelf-stable foods you want, and you can store them away. Great, you should do that. Go for it. But there are also other sustainable options that are going to allow you to provide for your family and truly allow you to have a free resource of food that you can upgrade, downgrade, add more, add less, and you can do so many things with it. There you saw rabbits. Here we have some meat chickens. The options are endless, okay? And so this is really going to allow you to do the most important thing, and that's go through the process, because there's a cause, there's effect. Some things work good, some things don't work good, but it makes your mind work. It makes you have to work through things, through problems, which is the whole important force multiplier behind preparedness. Fixing your own problems. And obviously I have a lot of space to do it. I mean, this is just one side, and my property goes all the way to the tree line there. So, I have a lot of space to do this, but you don't need a lot of space. Let me show you what the average backyard looks like. Hey, Covey, showing everybody what the average backyard looks like. So the average backyard is probably like this, This is just on the side of my place here. That's about the size of average backyard, right? Not very big, but guess what? There is more than enough space and resources here to put one of these tractors on and grow food. And you can do it for free, because you see all this vegetation, livestock animals, pets can turn that into free food. Now, before we move on, I'm just going to address it because I know it's going to come up. There's going to be people that say, well, my city ordinance doesn't allow me to. My local HOA doesn't allow me to. My neighborhood rules, regulations don't allow me to have chickens, or don't allow me to have ducks, or don't allow me to have insert animal here. And that may be true, but that doesn't mean that you can't change that. Doesn't mean it has to be that way. There are tons of municipalities, cities all over the country that have fought those regulations have won. I mean, super liberal places like Portland and Seattle allow for backyard chickens, hens, and that kind of thing. So if super uber liberal places like that can do it, there's no reason why you can't do it. But let's say you don't want to. Let's say you don't want to affect change. There's still animals that you can have. I don't know of any places that say that you can't have pet rabbits. Pet rabbits are very popular. You can go to the pet store and buy rabbit food, buy rabbit toys, buy all sorts of rabbit essentials. So there are animals that you can still have that wouldn't violate those archaic rules that you wish to follow, which has always been real interesting for me, because these are the same preppers people that will say they will use government as an excuse for why they prepare, and in the same breath they'll use government for an excuse for why they can't prepare, all in the same breath. I've always found it fascinating. People want to use government as an excuse for when they want to do things, and they also use the same government for excuse for when they don't want to do things. It's very fascinating. no, man, I get it. You know, you got to have 1,000 rounds of ammo minimum for every caliber of weapon you have. You have 10 different calibered weapons. No, I get it. You got to really make sure you stay on top of that because, you know, the reason why we have the Second Amendment is to protect us against tyranny from a tyrannical government. So you have that kind of preparedness minded set up for protecting your rights, but you can't be bothered to go to a local HOA meeting that's not even a government entity and petition them for backyard chickens, or, you know, writing your city council to allow you guys to have backyard chickens and ducks. Makes a whole lot of sense to me, man. Sniper, you picking on the sheep again? Little kittens doing little kitten stuff. Okay, tangent over. So I understand there's going to be places that have rules and regulations. I totally get that. You guys know my thoughts and feelings on that. Now, for those of you that want workarounds for the meantime, like I said, rabbits are great. I don't know of any places that have real restrictions on rabbit ownership. And for those of you that are still wanting a poultry option, quail. Quail are a great preparedness animal. They really are. So this is a 8x4 foot setup, and it's large enough to house lots of quail. And on top, I added some space so I can put feed or any kind of tools that you would commonly use for the quail. You can put everything here in an all-inclusive system to save space. But here on the right side, I have my breeders. They produce eggs. That's what their job is. They eat, reproduce, give me eggs. And then here I have my grow outs. And when my grow outs get big enough, which they are now, they are exactly at 9 weeks, I will cull the males and the small females, and I'll take the big females and move them over so they can start continuing on with the breeding program. A setup like this can do a lot to put a huge dent in your food bill. So if you were to combine this with a rabbit setup, I mean, you'd really be unstoppable. And all the droppings here, this is just high quality fertilizer. So between this and your rabbit cold manure, you can literally grow tons and tons and tons and tons of food for you and your family. I mean, if we just take a look at the 8x4 foot quail pen setup, I mean, that puts a huge dent in our food bill here on the homestead. And not just for me, but for Kova here. She's still a puppy. She's a little over a year old. She's 140 pounds of just brute muscle, man. And she eats a lot. And she's still growing. But with this quail setup that I have, I can literally produce 600 eggs easy a month, no problem. With 28 females, you know, and a few males, you can literally grow food for your family. And you can do it in such a small setup, in such a small space, and you can do it indefinitely, you know. So it's a really good setup to have, and it is a great way to feed your family and do it quick too. I got the quail in March. That was my one COVID pandemic purchase. You know, I was like, you know what, let's do it. Because I already knew that there was going to be delays in shipments. I already knew there was going to be problems in the agricultural sector for getting livestock like have seen. I knew that was going to happen because of the health concerns, and this is nothing new. We've seen this with every other pandemic in the past, the Spanish flu, swine flu. Whenever there's any kind of outbreak, you're always going to see delays in the agricultural sector. So I went ahead and I made the purchase, bought just eggs, and from 60 fertilized quail eggs, I've been able to do that within 8 weeks. They're laying eggs. So if you're looking for a true setup that's small and quick, rabbits and quail will do it for you. So I encourage you, go out there, preppers, get some pets. And like I said, you don't have to breed them right now. You don't have to get some, you know, elaborate process or infrastructure in place. But what can be the harm in having a couple of rabbits, you know? Get 2 female rabbits, 1 male rabbit, separate them. Don't even worry about breeding them right now. Just have them. Learn about them. Grab a couple quail. Get a little bird set up. Just learn about them. Start small. Learn about how they interact. Get to know them. Interact with them. And have them on standby. Because I can tell you what, if you do need them, you're going to be very happy that you can get production going. But until then, what's the hurt in having a few extra pets that can literally save your life? Preppers, there's no harm in having a few rabbits mowing your yard. There's no problem with having a little bird set up and having a few quail in there. Like I said, if what you're saying and what you believe, preppers, really comes to pass, if everything that you're saying is true and we are on the precipice of some economic collapse, mass pandemic, civil unrest, food shortages, of all these things that you guys are saying, it's true, getting a few more pets could literally be the difference between life and death. It could literally be that one preparedness step you take that saves not only you, but an entire community. We got the eggs here sanitized and in the trays. Now we're going to put it in our incubator. So there you have it. We had this incubator on day 20. So we should have chicks any day now. And this incubator that we just filled up and just started now. So there you have it, preppers. I highly encourage you guys just to look at it. Think about it. See if it's something that's permissible for you guys. Like I said, having a few, rabbits mowing down your yard, it's only a net benefit. Or having a few chickens running around in the yard, or having a few quail that are inside a little bird cage. Like I said, these are all things that can be a life-changing prep for you and your family. And with everything ramping up, who knows how much time you guys have left to really get this stuff prepared, because I would be amiss if I told you that there's not something different in the air, because I'm seeing it. Literally, I have people coming from out of state to come pick up, rabbits, chickens, quail. It's no joke. People are coming from all over the place, and that just doesn't go unnoticed. You know what I mean? I've been doing this for a long time, and I usually just have enough to cover my feed costs, but right now I am selling so much I can't hold on to anything. And so I'd be lying to you if I told you that went unnoticed. I'd be lying to you if I said that doesn't, the numbers that I'm seeing have gone up exponentially. And everyone I know that does this, their numbers have gone up exponentially as well. So there's definitely something going on. People are definitely concerned, and, get them all you can. And as most of you guys already know, the chicken season's already over. It's about 4 or 5 months long, depending on, where you're at. It's over for the season. The feed stores are not going to be restocking on chicks, turkeys, that kind of thing. And I haven't even seen rabbits in the feed stores pretty much all year. So this season is already hit hard because of, the pandemic and everything else. And so really the only places to buy these animals are at small local farms and homesteads like mine. So keep that in mind. Really think about getting them now while they're available. Because when it comes down to it, if we're just being honest and real, if what you guys say is true and if what you guys say is going to happen and it's going to happen soon, you can have all the HOA ordinances and stuff all day long. But when people need to eat, they need to eat. So, what good is a HOA when people came to make their house payment or people can't buy food at the store? So, like I said, I definitely have noticed it has not gone unnoticed, the amount of questions that are being asked and the state that everybody seems to be in. It doesn't go unnoticed. So there's definitely something that's going on in the ecosphere here. So yeah, like I said, think about it. Preppers, get some more pets. Well, guys, I'm going to get started on this build. And as always, guys, long live the Republic.